Looking at this next equation, I see that y is squared, but there's no square on the x, and that tells me we're dealing with a parabola. Since y is squared, this is not a function. It's going to be a parabola that opens either left or right. Let's complete the square on the left because we are thinking to ourselves that we need to get this into the form y minus k quantity squared equals 4p times x minus h. So we want all the y's on the left and everything else on the right hand side of the equation. We will write y squared minus 10y, leaving a blank on the left to complete the square, equals negative x minus 27. And then, cutting in half, we get negative 5. Squaring that, we have 25. Since we add 25 to the left, we need to add 25 to the right-hand side of the equation. Completing the square, we now have y minus 5 quantity squared equals negative x minus 2. And I'm going to factor the right-hand side so that we have y minus 5 quantity squared equals negative the quantity x plus 2. And that will be the standard form of this parabola, which incidentally opens to the left because there's a negative in the 4p position. For this next problem, we have x squared plus y squared, which tells us it's either an ellipse or a circle. Because the coefficient is 1, which is the same in front of x squared and y squared, we know that this is an equation of a circle. So we will complete the square in both x and y on this problem. We will group the x's on the left to have x squared minus 6x, leave a blank for completing the square, plus y squared plus 14y, leaving another blank, equals negative 33. I will then complete the square. Cut the negative 6 in the x grouping in half to negative 3, and square that to 9. Since we've added 9 to the left, we need to add 9 to the right. Then we're going to do the same thing with the y's. Cut the 14 in half to a 7, and square it in turn to 49. Adding 49 to the left means we need to add 49 to the right-hand side of the equation also. Now we can complete the square. That gives us x minus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 7 quantity squared equals 25. So we have a circle with its center located at 3, negative 7 with a radius of 5. For this next problem, we see that again we have an x squared plus y squared, but there's a different coefficient in front of each, and that tells us that rather than being a circle, this is an equation of an ellipse. And there's a 32x there, which means we need to group the x's together. 16x squared plus 32x, leave a blank to complete the square, plus y squared equals 0. I'm not going to let that equal 0 bug me yet. I'm going to factor out the 16, leaving me x squared plus 2x, leave a blank, close parentheses, plus y squared equals 0. And then I'm going to cut in half the 2 into a 1, square it to a 1, and we've added 16 to the left because the 16 distributes to the 1, so we need to add 16 to the right, and that's why I wasn't worrying about that equals 0 on the right. We now have 16 times the quantity x plus 1 squared plus y squared is equal to 16. And all we need to do to put this into standard form is to divide each side by 16 so that we can have the characteristic equals 1 on the right. So we will have x plus 1 quantity squared over 1 plus y squared over 16 equals 1 as the standard equation of this ellipse.